Hi, hello, welcome to the Oracle Consularship. Welcome to the Consularship brought to you by Oracle. Okay, English, come back. Hi, hello, welcome to the Consularship brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. Cool. My name is Serene Priestess Abossi. I'll be your Oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for a channel's reading. Yeah, so Seven of Swords, full card. Those two cards together mean that there's trespasses and a deity, God level being, has deemed that there are trespasses against us from the way the composition was. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. If anything that is said resonates deeply with you, go ahead and smash that like button. We will be imposing the guidance from This Might Hurt Tarot. This is by Isabella Rotman. She can be found at Liminal 11 for this deck publishing. If anything said here resonates deeply with you, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. Knight of Pentacles, Sun card, Hermit, Emperor. And I heard Lermitia, so that's Strigeria Benedetta. There may be some type of energetic projection, spiritual manipulation. Okay, let's see here. Well, Emperor and the Sun mean masculine beauty or Sun in Aries. It can also be Cancer rising. And then Emperor and the Hermit mean like a ranking monk, a ranking priest inside of an order. Typically, the order would be a brotherhood or a priesthood. It can also just be senior management. This is literally an executive. Usually you hear like senior executive, executive vice, those kind of titles. And then Hermit with the, okay, I wanted to say the Magician. So Hermit with the Magician means, it's not here. That's what spilled out, so there's a message there. Hermit with the Magician means skilled teaching, skilled teacher. Okay. And then with these two cards, the Hermit and the Sun, it means grandfather or material abundance. So there we go. And then Hermit and the Knight of Pentacles could mean Mars in Virgo or the sixth house, or it means a Virgo rising. So coming in, I wanted to do a channeled reading, not an open reading, which would give a little flavor to what we were looking for. An open reading would kind of like being searching in Google for results on a subject. Channeled reading is anything that comes. So I'm getting the energy of interference, of something very nefarious is going on behind the scenes. It's as if, okay, well, there's some energy, entity, ideology that doesn't want us to come into our own, our awakening. So the Hermit is about looking deep within for answers typically, but it's soul's wisdom. There's not a lot of work done externally, but inside there's a lot of inner work. And then we have some kind of Virgo rising energy here. Two of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Ace of Cups. Page of Pentacles, Hermit card can mean Venus in Virgo or the sixth house. To a lesser degree, it can say a Pisces rising. Sun in Hermit can mean Sun in Virgo, but they're not together. We probably more have a Sun in Aries. and a Virgo rising. Or said differently, we could have an Aries. Well, okay, Sun in Aries, Virgo rising would be Sun in the eighth house. So that if they're under the age of like 20, if they're between the age of 24, 28, they can be going on a dark night of the soul. Because what this is giving is that there's a drive for life. Somebody wants to live a little. They want to okay, this I dislike this language, but they're feeling bored. I mean, to me, if you feel bored, you're boring. Get out there and find you something to do. Sometimes the surrounding circumstances impose the sensation of boredom upon oneself, but then it's the onus is on us to move the situation through or get up out of that situation. You hear what I'm saying? To say I am bored is to resign oneself to one's circumstance. Okay, so but we do have this energy here. Live a little. I'm hearing that. And the Two of Swords is an energy of like an opposing mind or being of two minds. It's also not being on the same page as someone. It can be deliberation, but there needs to be a confirmation. We don't have that. It seems like somebody's being prepared for power, somebody's being prepared for material gift, and it might even be the same front here, although something is moving slowly. Okay, so now we're bringing in Taurus energy with the Hierophant, Seven of Swords, Ace of Wands, Knight of Cups. So we definitely have that Pisces rising. We also bring in now Scorpio rising. We also bring in um, Taurus rising. Before we just had Virgo rising, but now it's Virgo rising or Taurus rising. It's Pisces rising or Scorpio rising. And there is some kind of hidden something here. It can be hidden agendas, ulterior motives, hidden enemies, but it also just can be some truth is hidden and we need cunning strategy, cleverness, or to seek out the truth. There's an alert here or a warning, I should say, that some kind of manipulation can be going on. Something can be an imposter. So uh, a gift or I'm hearing okay, what's going on? Kind of intuition is like speeding up. Let's just get into the message and see. Well, I know 7 days ago something came forward. Oh, okay. A week ago, something came forward in a little bit of a heart situation. Something came forward authentically a little bit of a week ago, and it or something came forward appearing to be from the heart a week ago. Knight of Wands, Three of Pentacles, Four of Swords, Eight of Swords. Now something's not working out. After everything is said and done, or after the things worked through, or after the gears that are moving Three of Pentacles, there's a little bit of a pause, or something's held up, or so we start slow, we move towards healing. There's some type of cabal here. Now, it can be one of those dark cabals during Hocus Pocus, but it also can just be a closely held secret or a tight knit circle that's organizational or professional. Organizational would mean that it's organized, it has rules and structures, or professional means that it has like a guild or a body to it. Ten of Wands, Nine of Cups, Five of Swords. Okay, it's getting pretty hard to ignore any type of naughty naughty. So there's a collective here, Three of Cups, Ten of Wands, Nine of Cups, Four, Five of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Ten of Swords, Three of Cups. Ten of Wands is carrying a burden, being stressed out. It also can be buckling under the weight of karmic causes or carrying a flame of some kind or digging a hole. Three of Cups is like a collective. It can be social group. It can be a coven. It can be friendships. It can also be, one might say social gatherings, but it's really socialization. Then it merges into some kind of switching and either a termination point that could be prickly or awakening. So after breakdown comes a breakthrough. I would normally say that. However, we run into some other stuff down here. So, I'm getting both sides. I'm getting both sides, and I really can't ignore some of this. Okay, you have a Five of Swords, which is a revocation. You have Ten of Swords, which is a cancellation. In and of its own, that would be of one's own doing. But then we have the Three of Cups and this Three of Pentacles. So Three of Cups is a coven. Three of Pentacles is a cabal. When you have a pair of threes, it usually means collaborations, cooperations, co-creations. However, it can be taken as something different if you have one of these two cards, the Three of Cups or the Three of Pentacles. With both of these cards together, Three of Cups and Three of Pentacles, it might as well be three threes, a triple three. When you have a triple three, it means cliques, covens, and cabals. Confirmed by the Two of Pentacles, confirmed by the Five of Swords, confirmed by the Seven of Swords. Now, to have a really strong confirmation, we would need the Moon card. We don't, we have the Sun card. And the Two of Swords is here. So there's some kind of deliberation or indecision, opposition even. We don't have a bunch of eights, but we do have one eight, the Eight of Swords, which would mean yielding to some kind of circumstance. It can be rules, regulations, restrictions. It can just be the need for restraint because of some type of terms and conditions. Being brought up under arraignment with the Four of Swords here, and this is confirming this Five of Swords, which is standards, boundaries. This Ten of Swords can be a cancellation. It can be, and if the cancellation clarified by a revocation, but you have the Nine of Cups here, which is like chosen status. So that you see why everything's going both ways because it's not confusing. Now, this Nine of Cups does have a modifier here, but I don't really know how I feel about that because everything comes out in the light of day, and that's the thing that negates the Seven of Swords. Because the Seven of Swords even does things in broad daylight, but it leaves receipts, and then the receipts are shown when the Sun card comes out. So I feel like something was false to begin with, or it was put not on faulty ground, but on false premises, and it quickly worked itself through. Because this revocation cancellation, it comes from this executive teacher or teaching or this executive leader. It can also just be some aspect of the spiritual self, really the future self, blocks this. Because something about our authentic self does this to us. And so there's two ways here. Because by being our authentic self, we get canceled. And listen, whenever you tell the truth, whatever you lose by telling the truth or being your authentic self is not a real loss. It's an alignment, a correction. It could also be, like I said, our higher self kind of hit the kibosh, put the brakes on something. Over here, it's saying that the other side wants more. Now, to be perfectly honest, this is not showing a person. However, the complementary energy is showing it as a person. So I have to, again, take it both ways. This reading is a lot of take it both ways. The word for that is take it as it resonates. So it's like we went out for something, or we had our foot in something, or we tried to sit for something, or apply for something, or you hear what I'm saying? It's like we wanted to join something, and it started to gain traction, and then it really quickly hit an ending. And let me just say something here. There's the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Wands, which is burial and grave. It's like digging a hole and then it turns into a grave. Ten of Swords is the grave. So Nine of Wands, Ten of Wands, that's wanting to build, erect some kind of foundation. Knight of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, that's wanting to collaborate, desiring to collaborate. Page of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, honestly, that's feeling mentored. Confirmation with the Hermit. Something happened here, and I honestly feel like there's an intervention, but the source of this intervention is not clear. And even though we have a second round here, this intervention card is going to go. I need a moment. And when we take it from the top naturally, joining some type of community or collective, and there's a switcheroo that ends in a cancellation. The other side was burden, but there was some kind of intervening energy. And then again, we were chosen, again, intervening energy. Clarifying this chosen status, we were very clear for this feels like a role. This could be graduating or achieving something, Emperor and the Sun card. This intervening energy was from senior management or some kind of teacher. Ten of Wands clarified by the Knight of Pentacles Hermit. Somebody could have been working in the background, some kind of teacher, a mentor, supervisor, executive. Because something here is of an opposing mind, and there's a pair of twos, so that's collaboration, like some kind of partnership. We have a pair of aces here too, so that could be some kind of union. Something got switched, and the thing that I'm taking so long figuring out is where did this intervention come from? We might know in the second round. Again, as I said, Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. I prefer to say sacred news channel, delivering messages from behind the veil, but that's what I said. We will be deliberating the findings from La Vida Sibila Daily Oracle by Los Garabeo for the corresponding and correlative energies. And then also we'll be deliberating the findings for any kind of pairing energy from the minor arcana of Cosmic Coven. That's by Lillian Lazenby over at Ripe Avocado. Okay, Herman and the Emperor is like a senior leader. This wasn't entirely unknown, I don't feel. They did know kind of coming up that something might jump in the way, and it did jump in the way. But also, there was a sickness from the beginning. Once they had time alone with us, something was seen or something like that, is what I'm getting. That's fine. Okay. What is this Herman and the Sun? Because I'm getting grandfather, material abundance. I'm following some tracks to see where we can get this intervention from because it may come next round, but the intervention itself will leave, and so will the intercession. Two of Pentacles intercession, Five of Swords intervention or block. Intervention all the same. Okay, so what is this Hermit and the Sun card? Because that could be a grandfather, that could be Virgo sun, that could also be material abundance. Okay. Okay, now something here was hidden. Yeah, and it was on the other side. Because as we came back in, or as we showed up, there was a death here. Something happened where they couldn't give more. I'm hearing last in, first out. That's going to be relevant to somebody. That means very something specific. And what is this Emperor plus the Sun? That could be Sun in Aries. That could be graduating, like an achievement. That can be a role, like a promotion. Okay, well, I'm starting to see some of this intervention, but it's not clear. Could we have some kind of discovery, an unfortunate one? We have Algrezza al Cuore, so there's some kind of love being hidden here. There's La Falsita. I keep getting stuck with this La Falsita because it's talking a lot. So it's saying that something was hidden in plain sight, but it wasn't obvious, which means there was something that was known that either should have been asked about or that wasn't shared. It does have to deal with information, okay? And it says that we are precious, and that's something that I got the whole time because a lot of times people get given an opportunity and they talk themselves out of it, or they put their foot in their mouth, or you know, um, back in the day when I was in sales, we had this thing called "talk yourself out of the sale." This is back from my business days, and it's something similar to the fact of like sometimes just like a 20-step presentation, but on the sixth step, the customer will be like, "Okay, I want to buy." And a new person would want to keep doing the presentation instead of taking the money, accepting the check. And so, okay, if you have a 20-step presentation and on step 6, the customer says they want to buy, guarantee you by the time you get to step 20, the customer's not going to buy anymore. That's kind of how talking yourself out of the cell works. You need to strike when it's hot or, go for the kill or close the deal when it's clear to close. So that's what this is here. There was a moment to either test this viability or to close this, and something didn't happen. I mean, there's joy and love all around. I'm just sensing like, okay, something's happening here. The message won't stand still. It keeps moving all around. I like I like when the message gets clearer, clearer, clearer. It just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding. It's not. Whatever happens, there's a consolation prize here. I do want to say that, and I've been detecting that since the beginning of the reading. I've had no sensibility here on the ground floor. I do sense that, yeah, we needed a little bit extra time alone or to ourselves. This is something else that I'm getting as well with this hermit. But there's something about that group where there was something that was going on, and there was something right there in front of our face that wasn't shared. We have all this earth rising sign energy. I want to see what that is. It can be that the tower is burning and we were just not invited into a burning tower because we only had some gross energy for on our end for 1 second, and it was a failure to ask or discern something. Okay, I'm hearing the song "Imagine You Went Away on a business trip one day, and when you get back home, your children are grown and you net." Okay. People are just people, gonna make you nervous. Who sings that song? I'll be right back. Okay, so the name of the song is Après Moi, spelled the French way, Apres moi, Moi. I knew it was Regina Spektor. It's an old song, 2006, so it took me a minute. And the song is deep. All of her music is deep. It's another orchestra song. Um, The song is super deep. What I'm getting, uh, I will never be able to do this justice. So what I'm getting is, imagine you went away and you never came back home. Meaning, if you venture out too far, you might not make it back to where you belong, number one. Also, number two, there's some old, there's something old school here. Hierophant, going by the book, policy, procedure, and protocol, status quo, coming correct. Hierophant, there's some old guard here that doesn't want the guard to change, but this new energy, us, is concerning. I was detecting that I couldn't say it, but the song kind of pushed me over the edge. What is this? Four of Swords, Eight of Swords. You know, it's also saying that we're not easy to discern, and when we were given a moment of judgment, it wasn't said to us. There were things going on right in front of our face, but in secret, almost as if we were being judged without knowing. And since we're difficult to discern, the judgment was wrong, but I don't have the energy here of mislabeled, misjudged, misperceived. Because it's giving a sweetheart energy, except the one thing, Eight of Swords, which is kind of like rule, regulation, restriction. But that also means with this Nine of Cups that there's divine rewriting here, rerouting. This will be a little bit of a loss. Okay. So I don't know, for some reason we're looking bad to this other side. And I'm overstimulated with this reading. It just won't settle. It's feeling, it won't settle, okay? I don't like being taken for a ride. I'm not into surprises. That's a different hoe. Go find them. I'm not the one. Now, it's giving me too much. The story's all over the place. So on one hand, it's saying that the other party knew something that they should have said that could have gotten in the way. It seems like some kind of interview situation. It doesn't always need to be a job. We could have been joining a club, joining a community, joining a place of business. Does that make sense? We might have been rushing a fraternity, trying to join some kind of garden society. It could have been anything where we're entering a collective. I have two confirmations for both a work situation and a communal situation. So we could have been joining a team, trying out. But we were being interviewed secretly in some way that we didn't know about. And since we are difficult to discern, we are difficult to measure, we are difficult, that they mislabeled, misjudged, misperceived, mistook, misused. And since we didn't have a chance to clarify, something was up. But also, behind the scenes is something else that's going on. Like there might have been budget constraints or some kind of financial thing where it was a hope, wish, and a prayer that we would be able to help. And then when it came down to the wire, they took another look at the bottom line or at this little emergency ration or this come to Jesus or dial in a prayer, and it just wasn't enough wiggle room. Because it keeps putting us in the sweetheart position. So I could easily say that we did something bad because we got canceled and we got revoked. But why would we have the Nine of Cups here, especially with the Eight of Swords? Nine of Cups, Eight of Swords together means divine intervention because we're chosen or we've made it in some kind of way. So that's not what I'm getting. Yeah, we caused a couple of resentments, but that's that mislabel, misjudge energy. It's not necessarily because we put our foot in it or whatever. Now, we could have, not knowing that we were being interviewed or whatever, but natural things occur naturally. It's time to move on, but I'm just unsatisfied here. What's this intervention, intercession, two of Pentacles, Five of Swords? So the answer will come to us eventually, that they'll probably circle the block and want to help us out in another time or connect with us at another time. Because it will be made known. La superbia, the peacocking, it does actually say, like the ego, it will be announced or put out loud, or we will see, or there'll be a show of some kind. I'm also getting like attack energy here, but it's not anywhere to be seen. It's like something is lurking. So we have a pair of twos, and then another two pops out. So this means a union with, okay, so now this misperception, mislabeling, Seven of Cups is mislabel, misjudge, misperceive, mishandle, mistreat. Sometimes we're so precious, or sometimes we're so chosen. We could be ethereal or mysterious or enigmatic, and that doesn't equate. And some people need actual logical, verifiable things, especially if it's like a work or a team situation, because that means that we're not lying. Sometimes when we're ethereal and mystical, if you're not going on a intuitive or an emotional stance, that would mean, okay, this person's made up or there's something too good to be true. And it's easier to trust when you can verify, but there's some kind of passage here with the Six of Swords, which means, again, we were being divinely guided through and out of this. So there could be a timing window here. I need to start seeing that though, because we have this revocation, and nowhere in the clarifiers did cancel come. Okay, withdraw is what it's saying for the other side. Slow moving. So they needed to take a moment and see something. Okay, I need more clarity here. Okay, well, saying we're going to end up in a better situation, I knew that already, but what I don't understand what's going on with this current situation, why I'm so confused, because this is uncomfortable. The story keeps expanding, y'all, and I don't like that. It's kind of wishy-washy. What is this pair of pins? So the withdraw is for other options, which I did detect earlier, but I didn't have anything to say that. And it's leaving us in some kind of rule, regulation, restriction, kind of like we're restrained. Because the leadership, King and Queen of Wands, wants more options. They want and need more options. Okay. Seven of Wands, Four of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, King of Cups. Seven of Wands, King of Cups is us. It's saying that we're on high ground and we're the perfect thing. Seven of Wands, Four of Pentacles, they're rigid right now. And so I was giving them a little too much credit saying that they were holding on to a piece of information, waiting. They might just not be able to push the button, hit the button, you know, take the leap. We have a pair of knights here. Okay, passage, convoy, passage, envoy, commission. There should be, okay, but there's a double five. They're losing on their end or taking a loss, and it's not financial, which is what was being suggested. So we're at a loss now because it's austere for us. We've either been made to cry or gone to some kind of divorce. There's a pair of aces here. So we were in a union or preparing for union. Yeah, see, Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles on our side, that's a union, typically a commitment of some kind, whether it be work or marriage. And Queen of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. I mean, Queen of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, that's expanding commitment. Something happened. We have a double 10. Something happened to cancel that out. I don't know what that was about. Well, I do. Something gets canceled out. A union was budding and it gets canceled out. I don't think it's about marriage. It keeps saying that we're the right one for this, but there's detachment now or a lull, like a lag for some reason. And there is something in the way we can word things that will shift the situation around. I don't see a healing or a reconciliation, but it's how we leave this is just as important as how we. I'm a firm believer of that, but this is something the universe has been echoing a lot lately. How it tells a lot about a person when they're leaving something, like when there's a breakup or a firing or a transition or something, that says a lot about a person, how they handle it. Okay, so I don't know what just happened, but we got the Ace of Swords and the Five of Swords. So that does mean how things get canceled out or set down is very telling. Ace of Pentacles here. Oh, wait, with the what? Ten of Swords on our side, Ten of Wands on their side. So this is going to build us up and break us through. This is going to give us a breakthrough of some kind after some breakdown. And this is going to, I don't know, burden them or build something up for them. They need to test and test and test and test. Because that's what it's starting to feel like, a round of tests that don't seem like tests without being known that they're tests. Are there any other doubles here? And we have a pair of pages. Yeah, now I'm hearing that song. Who will be the one to marry me? A girl in the world barking up the wrong tree. I create a delusion to explore matrimony. Yeah. Um, there is a little bit of a facade going on here. Like one side is waxing philosophically, but they're kind of like playing with our lives. I don't know why I'm suddenly getting that. And I'm going with my intuition because this reading is yanking me in all directions, and I can't stand that. I don't do anything that gives me whiplash. I'm sorry. I'm so out. Um, the intuition that I'm getting right now is that somebody is waning and waxing, yeah, waxing philosophically with our lives, which is a little bit disrespectful. It's okay if you're wishy-washy, but be that up front and say, like, I'm uncertain, I'm feeling things out, I'm not on even ground, I'm not on equal footing, something's off here, or something's not clear, or things are still coming together, not everything is settled, not everything is certain. If you say that out loud, then okay. If you say what's up, then that's what's up. But like when there's a sneak thing, a sneak attack, a little sideways sneaky ricky dicky tweaky, when something all of a sudden pops up that's material and wasn't said up front and out loud, uh, uh, you hear what I'm saying? So something is off here, but it does see, the thing about it is it doesn't appear to be. Now we need to bring in love. We'll be using Pop of Love Oracle by Vibe by the Tarot. She's over on Etsy because we have a pair of twos here. Not a pair of twos, a pair of aces, but since I pulled on the twos, we're lucky. So this is for some divine reason. We have a message from the other side. I'm receiving many messages about you through numbers, symbols, and images. The universe is showing me my way back to you and you back to me. Okay, I did feel like this was going to circle back around. I didn't say that because this reading is all over the place. New beginnings. Sagittarius. So if we're in March, April, May, June, so it can be that, and see here, I want to say money, but this says materially, mentally materialistic. So I wanted to say money, but that's not what the card said. Um, Something tells me around the Sagittarius full moon is the latest it'll take to resolve this. For some of us, even sooner, because there might be an Aquarius that we're dealing with, and that's for this partnership here. Now, for the union, which is the pair of twos, I mean, excuse me, I keep saying that. There's a union here. Somebody is in cahoots. Somebody's in cahoots here, okay? Or they're waiting on something from another person who says yay or nay, or it's here or it's not here, something like that. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Maybe not even an approval, but like, hey, we have this thing that we're waiting for. Example, funding. Another example, authorization. Another example, the permit. Um, but a pair of twos is a partnership. A pair of aces is a union. So we're pulling on the pair of aces. Glow up. Okay. Power couple. So listen, small offering. I'm getting two messages here. First of all, if we were offered something and we come back around, we're going to need to negotiate for better. Second thing, it may have been rejected because it's not worth us. And that doesn't normally happen unless you're chosen, which is what I'm getting here. There's some kind of sentimentality as well. So they're in a cycle of confusion, but they're not going to be able to let us go. This reading is getting long, so I'm trying to rush through, but this is just, there's nothing wrong with this reading, but I don't like that style. I'm not a wishy-washy hoe. I need you to get straight to the point, please. Yank me around, I will block. I do not do whiplash. I do not. If I ever go to hell, it'll be an eternity of indecisiveness. Okay? Three of Wands, Nine of Wands, Six of Swords, Ten of Cups. I could have extended this. I should have. I was just so flabbergasted and flusterbusted. That was a sign to extend the reading, but do me a favor, my dear. There's a link in the show notes if you want to send a donation. Also, um, you can like give a detailed, like leave a comment. Okay. So Queen of Wands, leadership. Typically versus the king, which is to command, or, you know, the queen develops a little bit more. It's almost kind of like they want us to hold on a little bit because they're waiting on something to come through. Three of Wands. Six of Swords, Eight of Pentacles. It does feel like this is work. Because we have Three of Pentacles supervision or teaching, guiding, Eight of Pentacles learning or working under. And again, another thing would be apprenticeship, or, you know, in modern days they have internships and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm hearing the song, A Girl in the World, backing up the wrong tree. A creature conditioned to explore matrimony. So it could be that we're venturing out to go get a job or venturing out to go join a team where we need to make our own team or we need to be self-employed. But you see, if something requires an internship, then that's usually tricky because there's like, you know, accreditations or, you know, like you might need to get like some kind of credential certified or something like that. Now, there's always the option in some industries. I know, like, for instance, the mental health field, you can, well, it depends on the license, but sometimes you can hire your own supervisor, somebody to go over your notes and sign off later on, but that requires going out of pocket. You know, a lot of people that do eventually go into private practice, sometimes they'll just work in a practice for the first 2 years of being a licensee before they go out on their own. So something is here. We might need to reconsider something because it's saying there's a clear way forward, Six of Swords. And before, in that same spot was the Five of Swords, which meant there was some kind of intervention. The universe almost. When you have the Two of Pentacles, Five of Swords, and Eight of Swords, we have to say intervention, divine intervention with the Nine of Pentacles out. I mean, the Nine of Cups out. And this is saying, like, you're a boss, you're a leader, you're a maven, you're a queen. You were going to subjugate yourself. You were going to get a small offer. You have this creature condition to explore matrimony. Why are you trying to yoke yourself to somebody, to something? Something's coming through, pulling through, and you just need to hold out for a little bit longer. Nine of Wands. Queen of Wands, Nine of Wands. You're entitled to something. Normally, the Nine of Wands is not good. Not for me. I use it as the evil eye or entitled person. With the Queen of Wands, it's negated, however. It's not that normal circumstance of evil eye or entitled person. Here it says, no, honey, you deserve something. You are entitled to something. The universe is saying, you might need to hold out for a little longer. Keep carving away, keep grinding, keep hustling. Something's going to make itself known. It's coming through, pulling through. It's not going to take much longer. what is this Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands? What is it saying here? Yeah, the medicine is coming. Dottore here, you see how something's coming to aid? It might look like a disaster, but it isn't. It might, you're winning it up and it all falls down. I'm a little under the weather. You can hear, so my voice box is not working, but I'm hearing that, I'm hearing that, Kanye song, or excuse me, we try not to say that. That's a problematic name to say right now. I don't have any beef with them, but that is problematic to say at the current precise moment. But that song is always forever in my head. But this means the house is burning. Paris is burning. Yeah. Yeah. So something is burning, and um, something got to our inner space, our privy place. There's something about us fresh and new. We're trying to embark upon our journey, and there is some aspect of us that's new. So I could see a new credentialee, a new intern, something like that, or a rush, a neophyte, a junior, a probie. I could see that. Okay, what is this Eight of Pentacles with the Hermit? Because that means Sun in Virgo. Okay, so the other side, some kind of ego. A superbia, something's gonna be revealed. Yeah. Uh, they're going to be alone with their thoughts, alone with their options, and we're going to be moving in secret or in a way that's unable to discern, and they might just spill all over. So the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords disappeared, but now we have the Ten of Cups. So interesting. And we have the Eight of Pentacles with the Three of Pentacles. Yeah. Um, this is not going to go anywhere. So if they take it away and give it back to us, make sure we ask for more. Because this is saying post-traumatic stress here, but it also is that something gets tagged. So what we're doing is blessing, and what the other side is doing is some type of karmic, I don't know, but some type of karmic something. Now we have a pair of eights and a pair of threes this time around. Okay, so misjudge, mislabel, misperceive, or something about mirage, illusion. Okay, so it actually might not be in their best interest to lose us. Duh. But we might be so stoic about this that because I'm getting two things. They are waiting on some kind of something, funding or approval or positive whatever. But also they might be trying to see our reaction, and they might be trying to like give themselves a reason to la di da yada yada, and we don't give them that reason, and it gets they are karmically going to get a track back for this. So look, we have two 3 and 4 of swords. And it's a 3-4-2. Together that equals 9, by the way. And then we have the Justice card in the clarifiers. It's actually not far away. I could show it to you right now. It's 4 in, which means it's seated. Do you see that? And there's a 3 of swords again. So what that means is there's a karmic tag placed on this individual. It's something just shy of a mark of Cain. A mark of Cain comes from a punishment. This tag is like preliminary until something can be adjudicated. So it's all going to work out in the future, but it doesn't mean that we'll be there. But we're going to be carrying a burden for a while, and they're going to get time to feel better about something. Okay. I don't know what this reading is about. What is this pair of threes? Okay, Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. That's a union. Yeah, so this is saying like they might have thought, okay, so we're feeling like we have passage here and we're feeling okay with whatever's going on. And also, it's gonna give them the time to like catch up, but also feels like struggle love. Like, I don't care if this is not a marriage connection. Like, you shouldn't have to lose me to understand that you want me, because now we're gonna be divorced from this, which means austere, cold. We have truth and wisdom now, and honestly, like they were looking at us as an option when they should have been making it clear that we were the only choice. And they might have actually thought that for a second, but something came up that confused them or whatever. I don't know. There's one more thing I forgot to check. The Nine of Wands here. Oh, I did check it. The entitlement I was talking about. Okay. So this was a message about a delay or a block to some type of spot, whether it was in a job or a collective. This was a delay around a spot. There's some terms and conditions around it. There are lots of reasons for the delay. But we will be blessed for this if it's not going to seem like it. Some truth has to come out. Some clarity needs to happen. There was something that was being withheld. So we'll see rather shortly. And it says that we come to a full completion with whatever this experience is. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. Go ahead and smash that like button. There's information in the show notes if you'd like to book a session, send a donation, any of that stuff. Take good care. See you in the next one. Bye bye.